with your boy Kevin Hart. Watch this, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
You said he's still an actor for hire, which he is, but that's because he chooses to be, Mike. He's still he has enough money to fund his own projects.
Well, he does. He does fund his own projects, though. He funds his own shows, his own tour shows. He
That's
funds
live.
that. But that's a couple of millions worth than what a Paramount Pictures can put up. You know what I mean?
Still, it's your own. When you putting up your own bread, you probably see more than if you were to get hired. So this is my thing. Say for instance, I'm Kevin Hart. Maybe I get $10 million a picture. I don't know his pockets like that. Okay, if I get $10 million a movie, okay, that's good. But if I put up $3 million of my own bread, shoot my own, my own little comedian movies or whatnot, and those go on to sell 50 million copies or make $50 million in total sales, I'm probably gonna see more than $10 million. You see what I'm saying, Mike?
Yeah, got you.
But man, that's what's up, man. Shout out to Kevin Hart. I love Kevin Hart. Shout out to that man.
Shout out to my man Dame. Trust me, man. Y'all know I'm the biggest Jay fan ever. Biggest Rockefeller fan ever. I got love for Dame, but my man Dame, if you a true hustler, get back on your hustler game. Stop crying about what other niggas owe you. Niggas don't owe you nothing if you a grown ass man, like you always say. You from Harlem. You a grown man. You stand on your own too. Get it. Stop asking for dudes to give you back something that they don't owe you nothing for. They're not obligated to you.
Man, scratch all that, Dame. I'm one of your biggest fans. These cats owe you, man. Kanye, Jay, Beanie Siegel, whoever else, man. Kevin Hart. Go back and do Paper Soldiers too, man. Shout out to y'all, man. But check this out, Mike. Okay, now you know, all right. January 1st, the open carry law in Houston has taken place, right?
Sure.
And what that means is, from what I read, I didn't read deep into it like I should have, but what that means is, if you have your license or whatnot, you can walk around with your gun out, right, or your gun exposed, right. So I mean, how you feeling about that, Mike?
Man, honestly, that's kind of a touchy subject a little bit, man, because we live in a world nowadays, obviously, where and I honestly got to speak for my culture, guys. So I don't want to offend nobody when I speak from this, but I only speak from the perspective that I can relate to more than anything else. As a young black man, it's hard with every day, especially if you're a young black man who's still in the struggle, living in the hood or whatever like that. It's hard when you got to wake up and then you honestly got to make it home safe by the end of the day without getting killed by somebody due to a race issue, discrimination issue, or even simply by a cop or something. So now where we have it where in our city now, in our state, in Houston, in our state of Texas, where people can literally walk around with a gun shown on their hip, and let's be honest, motherfuckers are very crazy nowadays. You may look at somebody wrong, and it's scary that this person can say, "Oh, I felt threatened by the way they looked at me," and shoot your ass. You know what I mean? So for me personally, I wasn't for the law. I wasn't for that law. You know what I mean? I do believe that people should carry a concealed license and carry a gun. I am for that. But to literally carry one open, that's kind of scary. You know what I mean? That's kind of scary because now you're giving a person who you don't know what that type of background is mentally. You don't know what they've been diagnosed with, any type of crazy shit. And, you never know. You never know what can happen really when you see somebody packing and you don't know them just like that in the open.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I think it's corny, this whole open carry law. Cause I'm gonna be honest with you, it's a bunch of lames that's gonna be walking around with their gun. You know how lame you look if you're not a policeman or a security guard or a army. What they call the guys that guard the sea, not the Navy, but like the Coast Guards or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
You gonna look stupid corny just walking around with a gun, like your gun. Why do I need to know that you have a gun? Yeah. That's corny to me. Yeah. Like when I first got my gun, I showed it and I just wanted everybody to know I had a gun. Then when I thought, as I got older and thought about it, I'm like, that's corny. Like, you don't need to know I have a gun. Yeah. The only time you need to know I have a gun is if the situation is necessary for me to use it. Yeah. Other than that, you shouldn't know. Like, mystique is sexy. let the mystique be sexy, man. You don't need to know that I have a gun on me, man.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, and you know, and as far as like carrying an open concealed gun, I honestly believe not everybody needs a gun. There's certain people at the end of the day, what do you really need a gun for? To your thing, I think it's an ego thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not in a situation where you're in an environment every day where you have to worry about your life, what do you really need a gun for? If you're not a student or a person or a student or a man who's not involved with everyday bullshit out here that goes on in the streets, if you keep your head straight, you handle your business, you go about your day, you're not in no issues, you don't have no beef with nobody, what do you really need to walk around carrying an open gun for? It's almost to your point, it's like another ego a little bit.
Yeah.
So
and I think it's gonna leave the door open for more trouble. Cause watch this. Say I'm a guy who's going through hard times. Okay, I don't have a gun, my rent's due, whatever, and I see cats walking around. Say I go into a store and I see a lame walking around with a gun on him. I might get the idea like, he's lame. I could just take his gun, hold this place up, and get the money I need for my rent.
Yeah.
It's people that think like that, man.
Yeah, of course.
I just think that it just opens the door for foolishness, man.
Yeah,
it's
of
open
course.
carry, man.
Of course.
Get your license, conceal your gun. Don't nobody need to know that you have it, because mystique is sexy. You know what's cool about Bruce Wayne, other than him being a billionaire and all that? Everybody don't know he's Batman. That's cool, man.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just tuck your gun, put your gun away, man. And if necessary, reveal your gun, do what you need to do to protect yourself and your family and keep it moving. But other than that, that's corny, man.
Yeah, so, at the end of the day, it's cool to have a heater. It's cool to make sure that you have your gun. We do think that you got to protect your family. You got to protect yourself under certain circumstances. It does come to that point. But definitely, the open carry gun law, we think that shit is whack. We think it's bullshit. We think it's just going to be another reason to increase the crime rate, to increase the murder rate. And at the end of the day, the goal is to save people's lives, man, not give people an open carry gun law to take more lives at the end of the day, yo.
Yeah, man. I'm with that, man. Shoot. One last thing before we get up out of here, Mike. Like, who are you, as far as the election and all that, you have a favorite that you rolling with, man?
Now, I can tell you one whole ass punk I'm not rolling with, and that's that man Trump.
Oh, of course not.
Nah, but definitely, with all jokes aside, though, I've been really paying attention a lot to my man Bernie Sanders.
Okay.
Bernie Sanders is definitely a Democrat. I'm not bipartisan with who I vote for, but I usually tend to vote for Democrats. But Bernie Sanders is definitely relating more to what I want to see. He's more focused on what goes on in the inner city youth. He's more focused on what goes on nowadays with the crime rate in our hoods, in our neighborhoods. He's more focused on what goes on with providing a better community for our kids, for our structure. So I've been really paying attention a lot to Bernie Sanders and what he has to say. And I just saw a recent interview with Bernie Sanders, and they kind of made a joke like, "Yo, you're more on World Star Hip Hop nowadays than the Kardashians." And if you guys are familiar with World Star Hip Hop, that's obviously an urban website that's viewed a lot and has a lot of different political views and other nonsense on there too. But it goes to show who he's really trying to relate to and who he's really trying to get the audience up. And this is nobody's, opinion, because this is my opinion. But at the end of the day, when you vote for your president, you vote for your president who relates more to you as an individual in your community. And I feel like Bernie Sanders does that for us.
I'm with you, man. Is that the cat who was I think he's an older gentleman, and he was sitting with Killer Mike eating at the Waffle House or whatever? Yeah,
he's definitely sitting with Killer Mike eating at the Waffle House in Atlanta. Bernie Sanders is actually the oldest presidential candidate running this year. He's almost like in his 70s, I believe.
Oh, wow.
So, if that is the only thing that you kind of want to look at the end of the day, is like, yo, he is up there in age. But at the end of the day, I think that he is the most, the most person, I think, the candidate to release more to our culture and what we got going on. And, shout out to Hillary, too, man. I respect Hillary running as a woman. I think Hillary has a strong backing behind her, obviously, with her husband. And, at the end of the day, I think my man Bernie's the one who relates to me the most, at least.
Man, that's what's up, man. This is probably going to make me sound ignorant. I just got to come from the heart. I'm not really interested in voting for our president this year.
You and a lot of others though, so not really.
I mean, because okay, shout out, and I'm gonna be honest with you. The first 2 terms of Barack Obama, the only reason I voted for him because he's black. I mean, I just wanted to support my own. With this current election and with this current, with our current voting candidate, excuse me, with our current candidates, there are a bunch of, older white people, which is nothing wrong with that, but I just don't feel like they have a connection to the communities that I come from. And what you have to think about when you're talking about elections and all that, you're talking about guys and women who are funded by other corporations. So these corporations, once they get in, they're gonna have to appease these corporations.
Of course.
And I'm not really into that. And I gotta be honest with you. I'm more in tune with my community sticking together, because if the black community got together, it wouldn't matter who you put out there, to call shots, man.
Yeah, of course.
We would be able to figure things out amongst ourselves. Look at the Jewish community. Look at the Chinese community. I mean the Asian community. I apologize. I don't mean to be offensive. Look at your Asian community.
Yeah,
they have their own. They have their own communities within every city and every state. Yeah, and the only thing they're concerned about when you get these presidents in is how much money they're gonna be losing or whatever, because they have their stuff together. Yeah. For the most part, our culture is the only one looking. Oh, what can my president do for me? And what? Man, forget that. Yeah. If we come together, do our own thing, it don't matter. It does not matter, Mike.
But you're also touching on another subject, though, because at the end of the day, I think regardless of whatever community you're involved in or whatever ethnicity that you are, your president does matter. So it is important to still get out there and vote. And and for us as the black culture and black community, blacks are the least to vote. If you look at the statistics. And the percentage-wise, black people are the least to vote because we feel as if they really don't matter to whoever the hell we vote for, because it's not going to affect what we go through. And that's the issue with us as well. But we do have to understand, guys, and I'm telling y'all, that you still have to get out there and vote for whoever you think your president may be, because when you think it affects you or not, it really does. If y'all want to wonder why the police crime rate is the way it is, you got to think about who puts these people in these places to be your police chief and this and that. It's voting. But to touch on what you're talking about, Cyril, with sticking together as a community, this goes what what you and I was always talking about the other day from the first podcast, was that how, as our black community, we're not as strong. We're not as strong. Let's just be totally honest with you. We're not as strong. We're not as strong when it comes to supporting each other's businesses. I always tell anybody, being an entrepreneur myself, I say, hey, you want to see who your real friends are? Start a business and ask them to support you, right? You'll see that. We're too competitive with one another. We're too busy trying to shit on one another. We're too busy trying to be up on one another, instead of actually being there to back one another, help one another, support one another. Our own community will go spend money with a different culture, a different business owner of a different culture, for they come spend it with us, because they feel as if, oh, I'm helping him win, I'm helping him get rich, let me go give my money to somebody else. And that's the mind state of where, we lack as a community, man, just being totally honest.
And just to bring everything back, that's why we're not respected, Mike. That's why we're being shot up. Because there's no backing amongst us, Mike. If we're together and we take a stand and we support each other and everything, number one, it wouldn't matter who you put in office. Number two, we wouldn't go for all this shooting. Like we're slowly coming together with this, because we're